Are you tired of getting the keep holding sensors or no heart rate detected message pop up on the elliptical or treadmill? Yeah, me too. And to combat that problem, I decided to pick up this. It is the Fossil Sport watch featuring the new 3100 chipset. With heart rate monitor, step counter, all that jazz. So, is it worth the near $300 that I paid for it? Well, let's find out. I want to start out on a good note. Let's talk about some of the things I like with this watch. Now, the build overall is pretty nice in my opinion. It doesn't have a lot of crazy features or I don't know, accents, I guess. So you can see it's pretty basic, it's plain design, and I like that for two reasons. One, it's very comfortable, and two, it will look good as a sport or a fitness watch. So it has a very sporty look, but with this kind of simple design, you could easily change out the bands to something a little more elegant. And if you wanted to go out or something, you could have kind of like a higher class looking accessory. So I don't have any other watch bands at the moment, but I'm excited to try some out. Now, some other things I like about this is that yes, it is lightweight. The build quality is nice. Honestly, I cannot tell for sure if this is a plastic face or if this is some kind of metal. The backside is obviously plastic. The buttons here, the top and bottom buttons are really firm to the press. They have a little clip. But the middle button is a little, I don't know how to explain it. It's a little kind of mushy, but it's also firm. It has some resistance when you press it, but it's just not as clicky as the top or bottom. Now, some other things I like about this watch are it detects your heart rate really well. I think I've compared it with other devices, wearing them at the same time and getting the same reading. The workout detection, which is part of like the Google Fit app, not necessarily specific to the watch itself, but it does a pretty good job with detecting your motions and guessing what workout you're doing. So for example, I did a set of pull-ups and I flipped my wrist to do chin-ups, and it detected the difference between them, and that impressed me. Some things to keep in mind with this though, I mean, this is a watch, so kind of limit your expectations with what you're trying to do. Now you can see how low I'm wearing this on my wrist. When I work out, I do slide it up more. It tells you out of the box for more accurate heart rate to slide it up higher on your wrist. I do that also to help get it out of the way. But having said that, I don't know how flexible your wrists are, but you can see, I mean, I'm bending my wrist back. That's as far as I can bend it. And I'm not getting any kind of accidental presses with these buttons here. So that's kind of nice. They have enough resistance where you're not going to accidentally press them. The screen size is like the perfect size for me. It doesn't look ridiculous on my wrist. It's not huge. You can see like the profile. It may look like on video that it's sitting up really high just because of how close it is to the camera, but honestly it feels like a regular watch, and I like that. And some of these smartwatches are insane. They're huge, thick, and clunky, and they look ridiculous on your wrist, but this looks like a normal watch, and I like that about it. I'm going to try to stay away from talking about Android Wear or the UI in general and just kind of focus on the watch itself. So having said that though, I kind of have to incorporate a little bit of the UI in Android Wear to talk about the hardware. If you press, so right now you can see this is just like the kind of like the battery saver, just like the always on display. This is what you get. So if you press the center button, you're going to get your main watch face. Now, I will note that this is not an included watch face with the Fossil software, I guess. It's pretty limited, honestly. That's kind of a disappointing aspect. Fossil does not offer a lot of watch faces, so I'll show you. If you press and hold, you get your watch faces selection. You press and hold and you can see what kind of watch faces you get with the Fossil. We'll just toggle through these, and none of these are really that great, honestly. And you would think with a brand like Fossil that they would offer some really nice watch faces to select from, and it's just not there. So I'm using an app called Facer, where you can select through custom watch faces. There's more to choose from, more there that I like. So this is the watch face I'm using now, and so this is my main watch face. If you press in the crown, you bring up your apps, and you can use this crown as a scroll wheel, which is nice. Honestly, though, it's really not that different or that much more convenient than just swiping. You don't get any kind of haptic feedback, any kind of audio or anything like that when scrolling. It would be nice if you had some kind of like vibration whenever you turn the crown, or even just like a clicking sound, something like that, just to kind of enhance the experience. The top and bottom buttons here can be assigned to a specific app if you want. For example, I have the top button as my media control, so I can jump right into media controls like when I'm working out and I want to skip a song. It's pretty good about keeping the media controls active while you're listening to music, but if you're using like the workout app, you lose those media controls, and if you want to quickly change it, you just press this. You'll have your media controls up, and it'll have the name of the song. At the bottom will be a volume bar, and the left and right skip or go back button for the song. But you can also use the top and bottom buttons to skip or go back, and you can use the crown as a volume control, which I thought was kind of nice. The bottom button can also be assigned, and I have the bottom button as the workout app. So I go right into Google Fit and start my workout. Overall, I can't really complain too much about the hardware of this watch. Some things that I don't like, on the other hand, are there are no speakers on this. So yeah, not having speakers isn't a big deal. It's not like I'm going to be listening to music through this, and I'm not really the type of person that would take a call on where everybody can hear it, or even I don't even really like talking to my device out in public. It just kind of makes me feel weird. But it would be nice to have a speaker on this, so you could at least like have an alarm, an audible alarm or something like that. What you get for an alarm with this is like a vibration. So if you have a timer set or you get a notification, you just get like a little vibration. So I do wish that it had like a speaker on it. My main problem with this watch though is the battery life. The battery life on this is terrible. For an example, I did a 2.5 hour workout. Now that's definitely a longer workout than I would normally ever do. But a 2.5 hour workout with the Google Fit app running and detecting my workouts. So I was using the watch pretty heavily during that time. But by the end of my workout, the watch was dead. I didn't make it home before the watch died. So on a typical workout though, maybe an hour long, plus wearing it all day, it's going to be dead by the end of the day. If it's not completely dead, it's going to be very close to being dead. So you can't expect to get more than a day's use out of this. So if you are the type of person who hates charging your device every day, this is definitely not the watch for you. I was a little disappointed because the new chipset was supposed to improve performance and battery life, and honestly, my second problem with this is the lagginess of it. It is, like I said, just a watch, so you can't expect a whole lot out of it, but it's very frustrating whenever you go to open an app and then it takes a few seconds and you're having to hold your wrist up. It sounds ridiculous, like what's the big deal, just having to hold your wrist up, but when you're doing it time and time again, it just kind of sucks. Honestly, the problem with the watch itself, I don't really have a whole lot to say negative about it. It's more about Android Wear in general. So if you are looking for just a watch, just a smartwatch to get notifications, this will do fine. For the money though, I almost paid $300 for this, and for a little bit more you could get like a Gear watch and your features would be way better. You get microphones, you get speakers, some of them even have cameras on, which is a little ridiculous. But with this, I mean, you have the voice detection. It does have the microphone, so you can activate your Google Assistant and do voice dictation, but it's slow and janky. So let's see if I can show you an example of that. I'll go right into the Google Assistant. You see how slow that it is. Hit the microphone. What's the weather? So you can see how long that took, and it's just, I don't know, it's just not a great experience, and I'm really disappointed by that. This is where a mic or a speaker would be handy. The interaction with your Google Assistant would be much more pleasant if it had a little speaker on there. Like I said, the overall watch itself is fine. I don't have any really complaints with the watch other than not having the speaker. It's just Android Wear in general, compared especially to like an Apple Watch, and I'm not an Apple person by any means, but with the Apple Watch you get so many more features, like even if it's silly, like the drawing on the screen and sending that would be nice. I mean, just features like that, you're just not going to get that with this. And if you're just wanting like a fitness tracker, an activity tracker, this will get the job done, but I'm sure that there are other ones out there. Even the last generation of the chipset, which I think was the 2100, even that I think would be sufficient, because for $300 almost, I mean, you're really just, you're overpaying, and this is under delivering for that price. Would I recommend it? Honestly, probably not. I've actually been considering returning it, but I keep wanting to give it a chance and not completely rule it out. Like I said, just to recap, build quality is nice, it's lightweight, it's comfortable, it does accurate heart rate monitoring, it does have a microphone for voice dictation. The negatives: battery life is awful, the touch input is sometimes a little unresponsive, or you have to like really press hard on it for it to read your touch. Sometimes, like, see, like, it's so laggy that you don't know if you touch it sometimes. So to go with the negatives, the software overall is laggy. No speaker is kind of a drawback. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, be easy, everyone.